You're listening to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. This is the program called Food for Life, and it's our pleasure, as always, to have in the hot seat Heather Barrow. How you going, Heather?
I'm pretty good, Ken. How are you?
That's great. Star of Stage and Screen on YouTube. Say good day to all your fans.
Yeah, hello.
Hello,
listeners.
everybody. Now, today we're going to talk about, coincidentally, something I was reading about over the weekend. I thought, oh, that could be an exciting way to control weight. The ketogenic diet, is that how you say it?
Yeah, ketogenic diet.
Ketogenic diet, yeah, keto diet. And tell us about it, because it looks pretty good to me. I couldn't fault it. What do you think of it?
Yeah, well, I've done a series on weight loss before,
Yeah.
and all of those elements are still very important. But ketogenic diet is a way of eating that switches your primary source of fuel from glucose, or sugar and carbs, to fat.
Yeah.
So we've been told and ingrained in our minds, oh, you need to carb up, for the big race, get those carbs in. That's what's going to power you. But
Yeah.
actually, a more efficient way of burning fuel is through ketones, which are produced when you consume more healthy fats and reducing your carbs.
So is it the ultimate way of eating then? I mean, someone who is, say, trying to sell, for want of a better word, a different type of weight control would say, oh, that's rubbish. You've got to have this and you've got to have that. So how do you know which is the real deal?
Yeah, I think the ketogenic diet is not going to be for everyone. So if you have any liver issues, liver disease, any kidney issues, you don't have a gallbladder, pancreatitis, issues breaking down fats, this is not the way for you to go. It'll put too much pressure on your organs, and you just won't be able to break down your fats properly. But if you are overweight and you're trying to get back down to where your normal weight should be, this is a good way that you can lose weight quickly.
How does it really work? Because it seemed to be the ultimate. I mean, you could have bacon, you could have eggs, you can have steak. What's wrong? How come you don't get fat on that?
Yeah, and that's the thing. There are people like you that see this diet and think, hey now, I can have cream and I can have this and that. No. So the aim of the diet is just to reduce carbohydrates. And we do that by figuring out your body type, how tall are you, how much do you weigh, how fit are you, and then we determine how many grams of carbs you should have in a day. Then we need to look at your protein intake and your fats. So the primary goal is to increase the healthy foods. So not necessarily having a cheese pizza every night on a cauliflower crust.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, that could be a ketogenic and low carb, but that's also not going to be the healthiest for you. So it's increasing your vegetables, first of all. So if you think about your plate, half of your plate being all sorts of leafy greens, variety of vegetables and colors. A quarter of your plate, it's moderate protein. So particularly, your lean protein, so your chicken and your fish, lamb, steak. And then a quarter healthy fats. Fats are the key. So what we're doing is you're starving your body of sugars and carbs. So those excess stores of glucose, which is called glycogen in your liver, are being used up. And what else is left? Your body has to go to the fat stores to burn for energy. So it's a way of starving your carbohydrates and directly accessing your fat stores for energy.
Okay, explain for us, if you wouldn't mind, before we go much further on it, healthy fat. What's a healthy fat and what's an unhealthy fat? Isn't fat?
Good question. Yeah, good question. Well, first of all, fat doesn't make you fat. So that I did want to say. So healthy fats, avocados, beautiful healthy fat, different oils. So good quality extra virgin olive oil, extra virgin coconut oil, avocado oil, great to sprinkle on all sorts of stuff. Your nuts and your seeds, butter, ghee, even lard. Yep. So these are foods as nature intended in a way. So back in the day when food was scarce, many people would go naturally into a ketogenic state. That's just what naturally happened.
When people think fats, do they think those sort of fats that you've just mentioned, or do they think that they've got a big steak and it's got a big bit of fat around it, or it's chicken skin, or it's the a lamb chop with the skin or the fat burnt so it's nice and crunchy? That's what I would look at as fat. I wouldn't think about an avocado or a nut.
And yet, I left that out, but you're absolutely right. So, eating the fattier piece of the chicken, such as the thigh or the legs versus the white meat, is better on a ketogenic diet. I'm not saying eat all of your pork. Pork rinds are actually on the ketogenic diet as well, but there has to be a balance. So I've talked about with weight loss, you want that acid alkaline balance. By eating too many meats and all this other stuff, your body's going to be too acidic. So you really need to come in with all those alkalizing vegetables.
Is weight control, it's a minefield, isn't it? Because most of the diets that I've had a look at over the years, they say, for instance, never eat the skin of a chicken. But here we are saying, eat the skin of a chicken because it's fat and it's going to be good for you. Well, we think, who do you believe?
Yeah, well, believe your brain, because guess what? Your brain needs fat, and it's a better source for your brain to be eating natural fats like that versus all of these processed carbohydrates and non-food ingredients that are just causing inflammation, that are leading to your sugar levels going up and that insulin being released. So with the ketogenic diet, you're not getting that constant insulin release surge. And insulin is a fat storage hormone, remember?
Yeah. Okay, so I come along to see you. I say, wow, this diet looks just like me because I'm a guy who likes crispy bacon. I like fried eggs, and I like a bit of steak. And I don't mind some peas every now and then. That's the one I'm going to live on. What would you say to me then?
I would say that's a start.
Yeah.
But let's balance that out.
Yeah.
So let's add some fermented foods. So how about with those eggs and bacon, a little side of sauerkraut? How about a little side of spinach? Great ketogenic breakfast.
Why does it only, the part that I read might be wrong on this, I might have misread it, but it says that you only eat the vegetables that are grown above ground. What's wrong with the good old potato? It's a vegetable, isn't it?
Yeah, so below ground vegetables such as potatoes and parsnips and carrots and kumara, they're higher in sugars and carbohydrates. So again, in order to reach a state of what they call ketosis, you need to starve those carbohydrates. So for your body type, the amount of carbs could be anywhere from 20 grams up to 60 grams a day. So if you're really active, you're going to the gym every day, you could probably enter a state of ketosis with up to 50 grams of carbs a day. If you're not as active, we might need to restrict it down to 30, 20 grams a day.
Is it the same for bread then? Because bread, wheat grows above the ground. And it says, eat the veggies that grow above the ground. All of a sudden, hang on, what kind of flour? What's the story there? Yeah,
so you're getting rid of grains pretty much. You're getting rid of rice, you're getting rid of wheat, oats, buckwheat. However, I have gone under an experiment myself, and I've been experimenting with a ketogenic diet for the past week or so. And I'm going down to about 30 grams of carbs, and I've reduced my carbs to 30 grams, but I'm having little bits of bread here and there, and I'm counting that towards my daily carb intake. So I buy a bread that you can slice yourself, and you can slice just the tiniest little thin piece and count it towards your carbs.
Yeah.
It also includes no fruit. However, I'm, again, having a little bit of fruit, and I'm counting it towards my carbs. So the whole point of this is to get to a state of ketosis, to lose the weight until you get to where you should be for your body weight. And then you can do something called keto cycling. And that's just reintroducing more carbs and going in and out of ketosis.
How long does it take you to get into that keto zone? So we start the diet tomorrow. When will I be in the zone?
Depending on how disciplined you are, you can get there within 2 or 3 days.
Wow, that's amazing.
And if you want to know how you get there, there's something called keto sticks. So they're just urine sticks. So just pee on the stick pretty much, and you put it against this chart, and it will tell you if there are ketones in your urine, which means you're in a state of ketosis.
Not that I've done a lot of research into diets, but apart from, say, Weight Watchers, where you're counting calories, but what they say with Weight Watchers, of course, is virtually everything in moderation. And as long as you don't have more than, say, for a bloke, 2,000 calories a day, you should be losing weight. And I can't see a problem with this keto diet because it's everything that I like. But I also read somewhere that it's a diet that you start losing weight on because you get sick of eating that food. You get sick of having bacon, and you get sick of steak and eggs, and that you just eat less because you're over it. Is that what happens?
No, not really. I mean, Once you get through the initial difficulty of, hey, my brain wants sugar, give me carbs, give me sugar, and you get through that state and you're in ketosis, it is amazing how your appetite actually starts to decrease. You're full off less foods and you're not having that addictive cycle of craving certain foods. So you can still eat a huge variety of foods.
Yes.
There's tons of vegetables you can eat, all of your meats, your fermented foods, all of your healthy fats. And again, pulling in some bits here and there to add to your carb intake for the day. So I don't really think you get sick of it.
Do we get some of our, because we need sugar though, don't we? So where are we going to get our sugars from? Do we need sugar?
Well, that's what we've been ingrained to think.
Yes.
We need sugars, we need glucose for energy, which is why people carb up for a big race. But there are now top athletes eating in a ketogenic state that have been for a long time. And just some of the benefits, I'll just refer here down to my notes. Obviously weight loss, because you're using fat as a direct source of energy, so it's accessing your fat stores. Improved energy levels, so you're not getting those surges of glucose, those blood sugar imbalances going up and down. You have more consistent energy levels. Mental focus. So like I said, fat is the preferred source for the brain. So you're increasing your fat levels. You're thinking, I'm eating all this fat.
Yeah, I'm going to get fat.
I'm not getting fat.
Yeah.
I'm losing weight. They're healthy fats. And just longevity. So ketosis has been shown to decrease inflammation. It's good for diabetics. It's good for Alzheimer's because of your brain. It's good for those that have epilepsy. So it's been shown to reduce seizures. So it's quite a dynamic way of eating.
So what he's saying, it's the ultimate diet.
I think for some people, like I said, if you don't have any liver, kidney issues, breaking down fat issues, pancreatitis, this is something that I think you could look into.
Well, it would be most people, wouldn't it? Because not many people in the main, not a large percentage of people have those problems. So what you're saying really is that 9 out of 10 people could probably have a keto diet and be fine.
Possibly. Pete Evans, Pete
Yes.
Evans, the chef.
He swears by it, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he's paleo, pretty much same thing, keto diet, and he eats that way all the time.
What is the difference, paleo and keto?
They're pretty similar, actually. There's not much difference. I think, some things with like the nuts and seeds and fruit is allowed a little bit more on the paleo. I think ketogenic might be a little bit more strict. Yeah, when it comes to reducing the carb intake.
What happens if I'm not saying fall off the wagon, but I'm quite a fan of chips. So if I'm on the keto diet and I think, I wouldn't mind a plate of chips, is that okay once in a while? Or does that set me back? How much would that set me back?
It's hard to say, but yes, having a large amount of carbs, if you eat a whole bag of chips, I don't even know how many carbs are in there, it will set you back because, again, it's causing those blood sugars to go up and down again. So it's putting that glucose back into your body in a major way.
Would I recover in a day or a week? Or
I think, if you can reach ketosis within a few days, then you should be able to recover within a few days as well.
Okay, so just run us through some of the foods that we can eat. So we've decided we're going on a keto diet.
Yes.
What are you going to say? Okay, this is what you're going to eat from tomorrow, Ken.
Yes. So for clients that I want to put on a keto diet, I send them a grocery store list of foods to buy. And it consists of avocados. I love avocados. I have about one whole avocado a day. Brazil nuts, butter. You can have a little bit of cheese, maybe a feta, Swiss cheese, chia seeds, coconut oil, dark chocolate, so 80% or higher, fish oil, ghee, yogurt, so coconut yogurt, Greek yogurt. You can even have cream, heavy whipping cream, olive oil, pine nuts, pistachios, pork rinds, bacon. Let me just stop and say, it is best to source most of these foods if they're organic or free-range meats.
Why is that?
Well, you never know what you're getting in meats nowadays. So you can get hormones and you can get antibiotics and additives and pesticides in non-organic foods.
Although organic foods generally tend to be more expensive, so what if we sell it? We just can't, we can't pay $60 for a leg of organic lamb. If we decide to go for the $35 leg, which is still pretty expensive, is that risky or not?
No, I mean, if that's what you have to do, then do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I once read that organic food is the true cost of food.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll tell you what, being on this ketogenic diet the past 10 days or so, my grocery bill has gone up.
I bet.
And I'm thinking, okay, what other area can I sacrifice? Because this is very important. Health is really important. And just to say also, I've lost over 2 kilos.
Yes.
In that time. So in about a week.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's great weight loss.
Yeah, and I can see, just mental focus as well. Everything sort of improving. And, I'm a fitness instructor, so
Yes.
I've noticed a difference in that. Now, this all sounds grand.
It does sound fantastic.
But I must say there are some side effects. Maybe not side effects, but things that can occur that you should be aware of. So one thing, and I've experienced it, is frequent urination.
Right.
Okay, so your body's burning up the extra glucose in your liver, and when you burn up that stored glycogen, it releases water. Mm-hmm. So you have to go to the bathroom a bit.
Cut down on your drinking of water.
No, not the answer. Not the answer we're looking for. But you're dumping all this water, and of course, in that you're losing minerals.
Yep.
So potassium, sodium, and magnesium. So it's actually quite good to make sure that you're drinking lots of water and having enough salt.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. So using good Himalayan salt on your food, possibly taking a magnesium at night as well, just to replenish all that back in. So a side effect of losing all those minerals can be dizziness, or fatigue.
Yeah.
But it's what they call keto flu almost. So once you get through that, you're going to feel great.
It almost sounds that you've been converted. Like you've come across it, and wow, you're a believer. Is that what's happened?
Well, I've known about it for a long time, and I've used it with clients, but I thought I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah.
Because I want to know about these side effects, and there are quite a few other ones as well I haven't even mentioned. But yeah, I am a believer.
Tell us some more of the side effects.
Okay, so we mentioned fatigue and dizziness, low blood sugar, so you're obviously dropping your carb intake significantly. So sometimes, your blood sugars can drop, and again, a little bit of dizzy fatigue, headaches. Obviously, you're losing all those minerals.
Yeah.
You're losing water. So oftentimes it can just be a sign of dehydration, but it can also be a sign of, magnesium deficiency. So that can lead to headaches.
How do you counter that? I mean, just to interrupt you there, I'm a casual runner, but I wouldn't want to be dizzy and fatigued when I'm running on the side of the road and there's cars coming towards me. So how am I going to get around that?
Very good question. So when you start a ketogenic diet, you do not want to be doing any really serious exercise. So if you go for 5K runs or even a couple Ks, I would probably put that to the side for the first few days on the ketogenic diet, just until you get to the other side and your body adjusts and it starts accessing your fat stores for the energy.
Okay, so it's not a permanent long-term thing in this.
Absolutely not.
No.
No.
Okay, so sorry, carry on. What else are we what's the downside to it?
Sure. So we've got the headaches, constipation. So again, you're losing all that water. A lot of this comes down to the water loss and your mineral loss. So dehydration is a big one for contributing to constipation. Sugar cravings. So like I said, there's a 2 to almost 3 week transition period where your carb cravings can be worse, I think, depending on how much you were eating in the first place. So if you wait it out, those cravings will subside and then disappear. Try not to cheat.
No.
And you mentioned having a bag of chips. So a large amount of carbs will start to bring those cravings back. So it's almost like undoing all the work you've done up until that point.
You mentioned minerals and a lack of minerals. And then normally we might say that if you're a fit, healthy person, that you get all your minerals that you need through your food. So if we're eating a lot of vegetables, for instance, why would we start losing minerals?
Well, just from the water loss.
Purely from the water loss?
Yeah. I mean, we sweat, just from sweating as well. Obviously, going to the gym, you're going to lose minerals. But burning off all that glycogen, leaving the body, causes a lot of water loss, and you'll be losing a lot of minerals in that process.
Sounds like a diet that you might be giving a 9 out of 10. What about people coming across you who say, well, wow, you weren't flogging this off a year ago. Why is it now so good? Is it a fad diet, do you think? Or is it a long-term diet that we can actually look at and say, this has got to be the way to go?
I think it's a healthy way to live, to eat. There's nothing, it's food as nature intended, really. You're still eating all of your vitamins and minerals, your whole foods from the ground, minus some of the higher starchy carbs to start, and then you're bringing them back in. Because, hey, carrots, parsnips, potatoes, kumara, they're good for you.
But they grow below ground, carrots, so why are we eating those when we're supposed to be eating above ground stuff?
Yeah, so just to get to ketosis, you're avoiding those foods.
Once we get there.
And once you get there, you'll stay there
Yep.
for however long until you get to that weight. Like I said, people are dropping pounds, kilos like this. Then once you get to where you should be, you keto cycle. So you start to bring those foods back in.
Yeah. I know someone who lost 11 kgs in 7 weeks on this diet.
Wow.
That's great. And they feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. But you do want to work with someone like myself that knows what they're doing, that can say this is a safe diet for you, and still look at all those other things that comes to weight loss that are important, such as the acid-alkaline balance, nutrient deficiencies, thyroid support, liver health. All of that still is really important.
And also it might be fair to say, wouldn't it, that still we're talking about everything in moderation. I mean, you wouldn't want to fill your plate full of pork scratchings, would you? You wouldn't have a mountain of them, would you?
That's right.
It's moderation still.
That's right. And I have a friend in the States, and she joined the Facebook group, because there's a lot of Facebook groups on the ketogenic diet, and you can see all these testimonies. And all I keep seeing on her Facebook page are these pizzas.
Yeah.
Pizza after pizza with pepperoni and all this cheese and these different bases made with almond flour and cauliflower. And I'm thinking, this is not a ketogenic diet. This is not a healthy diet.
No, it's not the way it's meant to be.
Exactly.
So you can go on to the diet and you can still be thinking, well, I'm not losing any weight. Why not? And you're going to say, well, because I look at what you're eating.
Yeah, it's not feeding your cells.
Yeah.
All this cheese, all this pepperoni, processed meat. No, that's not the point of the diet.
All about moderation. So we come along, Heather, we want to see you. You're going to talk us through the process, obviously.
Yep, so I will, I'll use a keto calculator and figure out what your macronutrients should be, specifically carbs. So you can actually even download an app on your phone and track your carbs. And it's kind of cool because you can type in a food and it will tell you how many grams of carbs per cup or whatnot. So you're learning through the process yourself. So I'll calculate that and we'll have a consultation. So I can see what else is going on in the body, what else might need support during this process, so you don't keto crash. I just made that up, but I think it's a very good possibility.
That's great. So, okay, we're not going to keto crash, and again, as long as we approach the diet in a common sense manner, it's the sort of diet we can stick to, isn't it?
I think so. I'll tell you what, next month I'll give you an update because my husband's going to try this.
Yep.
And he loves his carbs.
So you've lost 2 kgs, and another month's time, you're probably going to have lost 5 or 6 or 7 kgs.
I'm just trying to get back to where I think my normal weight should be for my height.
Yep.
And so yeah, hopefully, it'll just be a couple more kgs, and I'll let you know how my husband does too.
Good on you. Just about out of time. Just remind our listeners, we want to come and see you. Where do we find you?
So I'm at G's Pharmacy in Taradale. You can find me on foodforlife.co.nz. If you have any questions about the show, you can email me or call me 027-812-5071 or Heather at foodforlife.co.nz.
Heather, as always, our pleasure. You look after yourself. We'll talk to you same time, same place next time.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ken.